It is now just over a week until the Doom Eternal presentation. Just over a week. The time is rapidly approaching now. So now it's finally time to start the road to E3. So nearly every day, or if not even every day, I will now make a Doom Eternal discussion video about pretty much anything to do with Doom Eternal that we've seen, predictions, theories, absolutely everything. And of course, hopefully we'll get some more news across these days as well to present on the channel as well. From now on my channel, I'll be doing regular community posts and updates, including polls on what videos you guys want to see next. And today, this one was chosen, discussing the story of Doom Eternal. Now, of course, we have not seen hardly anything to do with the story of Doom Eternal, so this will be more of a theory video, but I've managed to write down a lot of different things that I think definitely are worth mentioning. So, without further ado, let's get straight into this. This time, I feel like there's going to be a much more heavier focus on the story compared to the previous games. I mean, of course, there was that in Doom 2016, all these data logs where you could find out a lot of information and lore about Doom 2016. And like the enemies and what's going on Mars base, etc. But that was only for like the players that wanted to go the extra mile. This time I do feel like the story is going to take a bit more, not centre stage, but it will be there a lot more compared to what it was in the previous games. Now, of course, I just hope that doesn't really take away from the gameplay, because we are going to be going to a lot of different places. Earth, Phobos, Mars, and of course Hell, and all these other places that we've seen in concepts, aren't there, we don't know about. And of course other places like Deimos are definitely a possibility. There's so many places that we could go that we don't know about yet. The story is going to definitely lead us to these places for a reason. There is a reason why Doom Guy or Doom Slayer is going to all these places. Another huge part of the story that we need to figure out, of course, is where did Doom Slayer end up after the events of 2016? We're not sure, because the most logical answer would be Hell. That's pretty much where he was coming from, and that's where I feel like Samuel Hayden transported Doomslayer back, because as we know, it ended on a cliffhanger and we didn't find out where he was going. But of course, we did find out that he had like the Hell Energy Crucible sword, which it looks like the Doomslayer is going to get his own version of that in Doom Eternal. So maybe Doomslayer wasn't actually transported back to Hell, but somewhere else. Maybe somewhere from his past. Maybe he was actually transported somewhere completely like Earth or something like that. We just don't know, because there was no indication at all on where he was going, apart from the fact that the pretty much Samuel Hayden wanted to get rid of us so he can try and continue or restart his progress. That was literally all we knew. And we don't know what his plan was. Maybe Samuel Hayden actually knew something was not right somewhere else and transported us back there just to try and deal with it. I don't know, it's just a random theory, because he did say something along the lines of "we will meet again." So maybe he does plan on seeing the Doomslayer again at some point. Maybe he wasn't trying to get rid of him, but actually take him somewhere else to deal with the problem, or maybe even trying to save him. I don't know, because next time we see Mars, he's pretty much nearly destroyed in that trailer or in that gameplay that we saw. So maybe Samuel Hayden actually blew up Mars in a final attempt to stop it. I don't know. Always just possibilities that could easily happen. And speaking of Mars, what has happened to it? Because what we saw in the Doom Eternal Google Stadia gameplay, it was almost completely destroyed, literally in fragments across space. That was what was pretty much left of it, and we saw Doom Guy or the Doom Slayer try to make his way across the fragments to try and find a solid piece of land. So someone or something has completely destroyed Mars for a purpose, and of course we don't know what that purpose is yet, but there is a fair few theories out there on what I think it could be. First of all, I feel like maybe that's what the BFG 10,000 might be used for, as an attempt to humans to stop it from spreading, because at this point someone's going to know something's not right when the whole of the Mars base has been completely radio silence. Come on, I know we're supposed to be like a secret USA base, but surely there's people on Earth and other places around the world that know about this base. So I'm pretty sure, because obviously it's a pretty huge thing at the minute, this Mars base, because they was using the energy to power Earth and probably everywhere else in the universe that humans have explored to. So it was a huge deal. So someone surely somewhere must know, hey, what's happening, where's everyone gone? And of course, there's only going to be one logical answer when everything goes radio silence. And you know that's not going to be good, because these people know that they was dealing with hell. The UAC would definitely would have known this. So someone somewhere, there must have been some kind of resistance group to deal with this kind of problem. And the BFG 10,000 is definitely the right kind of weapon for that. Of course, the BFG 10,000 looks like it's on Mars, on Phobos, but we don't know about anywhere else. There could be more of these weapons. We've just seen one of them. Would the USA just build one, or would they build a whole defense of these just in case they ever needed it? And to me, that looks like the kind of weapon that would do that kind of damage to the planet Mars, because Mars is destroyed. Something huge has been there. It's either one or two things to me: A, the BFG 10,000, or B, a Titan. That's the only things I feel like could do that kind of damage to that. The next thing worth mentioning is Phobos, because to me, I feel like Phobos is going to play a pretty big part in the campaign. We now know from the gameplay presentation that Doomguy goes to Phobos. There's a reason why he goes there. Now, it might seem a little odd at first, because when you think about it, if places like Mars is completely destroyed, Earth's under attack, why would he waste time going to Phobos? What possible use could Phobos be to him? Of course, the other thing we don't know is the Order. He might come here before Earth is even invaded. You don't know. Maybe he comes here before the Doomslayer knows himself that Earth is invaded, because we know that last time we saw the Doomslayer, he was being transported to wherever he was gone. Maybe one of the places he was transported to was actually Phobos itself, or there could just simply be a reason why he's going there. And to me, I feel like the biggest reason he could go in here is the BFG 10,000. We know that this is where the Pacific gun is held. Once again, there could be more of these guns, but this is where we know this one is, and which at this point is the only one that we've seen of these guns, so it may as well be the only one in his existence. So maybe the Doomslayer is coming here to destroy or control it, we don't know. Maybe they're actually destroying something that's actually key to stopping the demons, I don't know, because Phobos, I think the UAC themselves, they're kind of the whole reason this is going along. They needed this power, they wanted the Argent Hell energy, so maybe they're actually doing something trying to stop the demons, but once again harvest the energy, which of course Doomslayer is having none of that. He don't care, he's going to destroy everything to do with the demons. That's what he lives for, that's what he breathes for, just to kill the demons. So maybe that's what he's doing. Maybe the UAC are up to their usual tricks, and that's why they're so scared to see him. Because of course you've got that famous message, the Slayer has entered the facility. They've got that for a reason, and that reason definitely is because they're definitely going against what the Doomslayer is trying to do. But it's just trying to figure out why. And maybe the BFG 10,000 is part of that reason. They're using it to destroy something that's key and actually stopping the demons. Because maybe the demons are obviously like the superior existence to everything. They're outnumbering and outpowering everything apart from the Doomslayer. So maybe there's only one way that the actual demons can be stopped for good. And of course the Doomslayer is trying whatever he can to do that one way to stop the demons. And maybe the UAC are actually destroying that way so they can pretty much live with this power forever. Of course, which is not true at all, because they seriously are in denial. They've always been in denial really about the whole situation. They feel like they can use the power to save mankind, yet what they don't realise is everything's just leading to pretty much the extinction of mankind. That's everything the UAC is actually built by messing with hell. That's all they've actually really achieved. So maybe they're actually trying to stop the Doomslayer from probably wiping out hell altogether. And that's why the Doomslayer is like, no, I've got to stop this BFG 10,000 from doing that. I need to do whatever he needs to do. I mean, of course, that is just a crazy theory that I pretty much thought in my head earlier. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's not true, but I honestly do believe there is a strong reason why he's going to Phobos. It might simply be because that's the only way he's got as a transport back to Earth, because we saw there's teleporters on Phobos, so maybe one of them, like the main one, takes him back either A, into Earth itself or Hell, I don't know. It would make sense if it took him to Earth, because that's kind of what I feel like they would do, maybe like quick travel from Earth bases to Phobos. So that's obviously another theory on what could happen. And of course, we need to find out what really happened on Earth, because at one point, that's the whole point of that, the Argent energy was to save Earth. Next thing you know, Earth is pretty much destroyed, and personally I don't feel like it was an actual invasion. It was more kind of planned, because when we look at like different concept art and the gameplay, like especially that concept art of the super gore nest that I uploaded the other day, it felt like these super gore nests were actually assisted when they was being built, because they had all these different high-tech UAC look like machinery all around them. So maybe either A, Hell itself was trying to break free and the UAC were doing everything they could to maintain it, or B, they was actually using and harvesting this energy on Earth the whole time, which would make sense, because once again the UAC are not exactly the smartest people in the world, so they could easily just be like, hey, let's just do the most dangerous and life-threatening or entire species-threatening task literally on our home planet, because that is something I can definitely see them doing, especially if times are really bad, which apparently they were, where the energy is seriously needed. So that's definitely a theory. Of course, the thing that sort of backs up this theory is the fact that you got that, of course, that AI, that lady that you see at different parts of the building, that seems to say certain things to suggest that they've known about this for a while. They sort of known this is coming. I feel like one of the messages, if I remember rightly, said something along the lines of "welcome our new friends." So that once again tells me that they've been waiting for these for a while. And if you look at some of the zombies, they look more like kind of devil worshippers than anything. So maybe there was actually a huge cult of people that actually summoned Hell to Earth in the first place. And it's going to be really interesting when we get to see what's actually been happening on Earth prior to the invasion, to see what actually caused it. Was it A, just the demons managing to break free and then invading Earth? Or B, was there a huge other kind of gothic horror story going on Earth for quite some time that actually led to this being happening, or this event's happening? Because I really do not think it was an accident or just something that happened with Hell breaking free. I feel like something along the lines has been happening for a very long time. Maybe Olivia Pierce was more like a cult of people already on Earth, ready to deal with the problem if the Mars base, Modern Mars attack didn't go very well, which it did, but it didn't at the same time, because although the invasion on Mars did happen, the Doomslayer managed to sort of contain it a little bit. I mean, obviously it didn't work very well because everywhere else is already invaded, but the Doomslayer managed to make a much bigger stop than what they planned with like the Hell rifts and everything. So the Doomslayer definitely proved to be a huge problem there, but it wasn't enough at this point to save Earth and everywhere else from Hell. And I feel like the last thing worth mentioning is, where is Samuel Hayden at this point? What are his motives? What is he doing? That is the other huge reason why I feel like the Doomslayer is on Phobos. Samuel Hayden is there. That is one of the closest places to Mars where he could have gone. Obviously, there's not really any use for him at all on Mars at the minute. Everything, all like the Hell rifts are destroyed, Vega's destroyed. Obviously, it has been saved on a backup, but I don't think he knew that. And yeah, there's just nothing there now. Everything that he's done is gone. So maybe he's trying to rebuild what he lost on Phobos. Literally straight to Phobos, to the rest of his USC comrades, and start again. Because that's pretty much what he was intending to do at the end of 2016. He knew straight away that he was going to try his hardest to rebuild what was destroyed. Although it was like a serious setback for him, he didn't care. He would try to rebuild it if it took him the rest of his life. Because he's not just a leader, he's sort of obsessed with this power. I do feel like maybe even he is being corrupted by this power a lot as well. It's not just he's trying to save mankind. This power has done something to him where he craves it, he needs it. And it wouldn't surprise me if he turns out to be a complete evil character at the end of it, where his mind's completely gone and he ends up becoming part of the demons himself. Because I feel like that is definitely something that could easily happen with Samuel Hayden. He's on a very thin line at the minute. So yeah, we need to find out where Samuel Hayden is. Maybe that's the sort of the story going on for the whole of Doom Eternal. Maybe they're trying to track down Samuel Hayden to stop it, because I feel like he's definitely not going to sit back. He's going to have some other kind of backup plan as well. Now, we don't know what that backup plan is. Maybe all along he's been trying to actually control the demons for his own greater good. Maybe he's actually been behind this the whole time. We don't really know. Because one minute he's trying to control the power, but what's to say he's not trying to do it for mankind's sake, but actually for his own personal gain. Because, as I said, I still feel like he's corrupted by the power, and he could easily use that power to his advantage to control hell for whatever reasons he wants. So yeah, Samuel Hayden is definitely going to play a huge part in this, I feel like, despite not actually seeing him yet at all. But he's going to have some other trick up his sleeve that he's going to want to do, and the Doomslayer is going to have to do everything he can to stop it. Finally, there's one thing I forgot to mention, and that is actually the Doom Hunter, which was that boss massive creature that we saw in actually one of the concept art. Now the reason I wanted to talk about this guy is because I feel like he's going to have a huge story in this game as well, and I feel like we're going to see him multiple times, multiple phase boss fights, etc. Because of what they said, he's the arch nemesis of the Doom Slayer. Don't think he's the final boss, but he's definitely going to have some sort of story that we're going to learn in Doom Eternal. What that story is, I do not know, but I feel like it's going to be awesome trying to figure out. Maybe he's actually from the Doomslayer's home planet as well, who knows? Or maybe this is an old titan that he's fought, that Doomslayer's fought for many years, who has now returned to finish the job. Or maybe this is actually a creation of Samuel Hayden or the UAC, because that's what it seriously looks like with all these new gadgets that he's got. What's to say this is not Samuel Hayden actually building a creature that's to defend him or finish off the Doomslayer for good? Because obviously Samuel Hayden's going to know, hey, this guy is going to be almost unstoppable, we're going to have to do something now to stop him before it's too late. And what a better thing to do than resurrect or create one of his old arch nemesis alive again. Because you can tell this creature, he's either A, died before, or B, become very close, because he's pretty much nothing left now but machinery and a few parts of flesh here or there. So I feel like that's what he is. I feel like he's definitely going to be recreated by either Hell itself or Samuel Hayden to destroy the Doomslayer. Maybe he's the only one that's actually come close to killing the Doomslayer, because at this point no one's even really got anywhere near killing the Doomslayer. Even the Mastermind proved to be no challenge whatsoever. So anyway, that was just a few story elements I thought were worth mentioning. Plenty of stuff that I probably didn't mention, so if I didn't mention them, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.